What's up everyone, Chris here with Archipelago. Today we're going to be taking a look at our set Quest 07. I'm going to be guiding you through the unique features this set has to offer, along with a few tips and tricks to help you get the best possible results. Let's jump in. The 7th installment of Quest blends moody, romantic tones with cinematic color grading, creating a soft yet striking aesthetic perfect for telling powerful stories through imagery. Each of the 3 variations explores distinctly unique color grades to suit any subject or scene while maintaining overall consistency. The included Obscura profile emulates the characteristic refraction of light achieved when placing a plastic film over the lens of your camera. An additional Obscura preset filter allows the same effect to be achieved with a radial filter that can then be placed anywhere in the frame. AQ071 warm, earthy shadows and midtones, with subdued blues and greens giving this preset an overall warm feel, which juxtaposes against the subtle teal toning in the highlights. AQ072, rich, sandstone red shadows paired with clean, cool highlights offer a fresh yet nostalgic feel. Midtones have a subtle ochre toning that complements the more prominent light blues. AQ073, a more natural tone preset with subtle green tint in the shadows and neutral midtones. Alright, now that we have a good idea what this set is all about, let's go ahead and jump into editing some images. I'm going to click on my first here. Now before we do anything else, I like to set the white balance and exposure. With this one, white balance is looking pretty good. I'm just going to warm it up a tad. Tint looks just fine. Maybe bump up the exposure a little bit here. There we go, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and apply a preset. Let's do AQ071. Give that a click. Absolutely love that moody look. And then why don't we go ahead and play with the included profile, the Obscura filter here. Bump that up a little bit. Very cool. Loving that effect. Awesome. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. Alright, with this particular image, white balance is looking pretty good to me. I think I just want to pop up the exposure just a little bit here. Yeah, that looks perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and apply a preset. Let's do AQ072. Give that a click. Beautiful. Love it. Loving the colors. Loving the cinematic look with this. Now, I definitely want to throw on that Obscura profile because I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah. Beautiful. I really do love the fact that it looks genuine, to my eye at least, looks real. So that's looking great to me. Let's go ahead and move on to the next image. Give a click. All right, now with this particular photo, the white balance is looking pretty good to me. It's a little bit on the magenta side, so I'm going to back that down just slightly. Yeah, and then the exposure looks good. So let's go ahead and apply a preset. Let's do AQ073 on this one. Give it a click. Loving it. Super cinematic. Let's bump the exposure down just a bit. And then on this one, instead of using the profile, why don't we go ahead and use the Obscura radial filter. Give that a click. What this is going to allow you to do is really customize the effect to exactly what you want it to look like. So from there, you're going to want to go over to the radial filter panel that's up in your upper right hand corner here. Give that a click. You're going to see this little anchor right here. You're going to want to give that a click. And then from here, we can manipulate it however we want. I'm going to drag it down here and just show you guys. We can make it smaller, bigger. We can rotate it. And then also a nifty little trick here. If you hold down Option or Alt while hovering over the anchor like this, you can adjust the intensity of the effect, okay? I'm going to want it right about here, I'd say. I'm going to stretch it out actually really long here. I want it to stretch across the frame. Say right about there. Give it a little rotation. That's looking pretty good to my eye. How about right about there? Looking pretty good. Love it. Go ahead and click out of that. Bump down the exposure just a little bit more. And I think I absolutely love it right about there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next image. All right, with this particular image, I think I'm gonna wanna adjust the tint a little bit here. Back it off just slightly. Maybe warm it up a tad, not too much, just a little bit. And then let's bring our exposure up. Right about there, it's looking good. Now let's go ahead and pick a preset. Out of the 3 here, I think I'm gonna go with 2 again. Give that a click. Let's do something different this time. Instead of using Obscura, why don't we mix and match profiles from a different quest set? So head over to your profiles. That's this little icon with the 4 squares right here. Give that a click. And let's actually use the emulsion profile from 06. Give that a click here, and let's introduce some nice rosy warm tones into the photo here. Just like that. Beautiful. Close that up, and then I'm gonna bump the exposure a little bit, right about there. And those tones are just absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. All right, with this particular image, white balance looks pretty good to me. I think the tint, yeah, it's good. And I wouldn't want to add any more warmth to it. Maybe bump up the exposure just slightly right about there. All right, let's go ahead and pick a preset. So, the greens are just awesome in 3, so let's give that a click. Very cool. And I'm going to use the Obscura Radial filter again, but I'm going to use it in a little bit more of a unique way here, okay? I'm going to try to soften up the trees in the background, okay? So give that a click, and then head over to your Radial filter panel. Let's click on our anchor, okay? I'm going to stretch it out, pretty much the length of the trees here. Then I'm going to give it a nice little rotation just to match that open area, just like that. And then let's go ahead and duplicate it by right-clicking, duplicate. Now we've got another. Now I'm going to put this in this other area, this opening in the trees, right about there. And that looks beautiful, giving us a really soft glowing effect in the background with the trees that I absolutely love. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next. All right, for our final image of the day here, let's go ahead and check our white balance. It's looking a bit on the magenta side. Let's back that down just a little bit, but the temperature looks great and the exposure looks great to my eyes. So let's go ahead and apply a preset. Out of the 3 here, I'm just really loving 2 on this. So I'm gonna give that a click. And then let's go ahead and use our Obscura profile again here and bring in that lovely effect. Yeah, let's do pretty heavy. See, right about there looks good. I like how it's fading out the cliffs over here. Okay, and then one last thing. This is just to be creative and go along with the cinematic aesthetic of this set. Why don't we do a cinematic crop? Let's do a 9:16 crop on this. So click over here on our crop panel, and then I'm just gonna do a 16:9 aspect ratio. Line this up where I want it. Stay right about there. Looks perfect. Let's give it a look. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now that we're finished editing all of our images, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the before and afters. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope this video has been helpful and informative. This is Chris signing off, and I'll see you in the next one.